going to be comparing two fragrances. This has been requested by several people. It's two fragrances that I've reviewed in the past, but they are similar in note profiles, and people were asking me to compare the two. So they are Supremacy Intense, or Not Only Intense by Afnan. This has been hyped pretty, highly in the past year. And the other one is by the House of Luxdor, and it is Prince. So both of these are similar in the kind of, again, the category they are, the scent profile they are. Prince is a hybrid of, really comes across as like a hybrid of, Aventus and Initio Oud for Greatness. Okay, and Supremacy is a hybrid of almost like three scents. It's almost like it's a tribrid of Creed Aventus, Baccarat Rouge 540, and then it does have a little bit of that kind of oud wood vibe as well. So they are obviously similar in scent profiles, and people are asking me to compare the two. So I'm going to do that side by side now. Go ahead and start with the Not Only Intense, and I've worn both of these, so I can speak to performance as well. Worn both of these several times. Good sprayer on the Afnan. So, when I reviewed this, a bunch of people jumped on me saying there's not pineapple in this, because I said it has a nice juicy pineapple opening. The notes listed are bergamot. Okay, bergamot comes across like pineapple. It's used in a lot of Aventus-inspired fragrances or Aventus clone fragrances. The way they use it, it comes across like a pineapple. So yes, technically the note breakdown does not have pineapple in it, but it smells like a juicy pineapple. And this absolutely has that. It's got this nice, again, juicy, pineapple-y, citrusy vibe. You're getting that sweetness. It does come across more like 540. So anybody who's smelled like Game Time by Alexandria, Casino, Elixir by Dua, or Pineapple Aphrodisiac by King Fragrances, something like that, this is going to remind you of that in the opening. It's got a very bright, again, citrusy, pineapple-y, bergamot opening. To me, it smells more closer to King's Pineapple Aphrodisiac because it uses a 13ZZ01 batch in that, and or Casino Elixir 2.0, kind of along those lines. Very good. It is sweet. You're certainly going to get noticed. Compliments. Saffron from the 540 is very much prominent in the opening, but you're getting a lot of that. Again, the bergamot's coming out, coming across very pineapple-y in the opening. So Prince, sprayer's not as good as the Afnan. You're getting the same thing. You're getting a nice juicy pineapple, but instead of that, kind of saffron candy-like vibe from the 540, you're getting this nice, clean, smooth, sterile oud from the Initio Oud for Greatness. Now, it is sweetened up some, which I believe is why some people think, kind of compare this to 540, or almost like a tribrid of 540 mixed with the Initio Oud for Greatness. I see that because of the sweetness, but it definitely reminds me more of Initio Oud for Greatness with a just juicy pineapple in the opening. So in my opinion, Prince is more masculine, okay? Because again, you're getting Oud for Greatness really kind of in place of the Baccarat Rouge 540. It's more masculine, certainly. It does kind of have that sterile oud vibe to it, though, that you get from Initio. Whereas on the Supremacy Afnan, Not Only Intense, you're getting much more of the citrus pineapple. Prince is better balanced. Out the gate, you're really getting a lot of that, the oud from the Initio Oud for Greatness. Both are sweet. The Afnan kind of comes off more syrupy kind of sweet, almost like a Dole, if you open a can of like Dole pineapple. It smells good though. Whereas again, Prince, it's sweet, but it's more that kind of smooth, clean smelling oud with that nice pineapple. The Prince does come off more like pineapple than the Afnan Supremacy, whereas Supremacy comes off more, again, like bergamot, but it does resemble pineapple. That's what's going to come to your head. Most people that would pass you would probably think it's pineapple. Again, it's often used in Inventus inspired expressions or clones, alternatives, that sort of thing. So they're close. Again, similar scent profiles. I will say I noticed in the Afnan, both of them as they dry down, the pineapple kind of fades to the back and you get more of the rest. So in the Supremacy, you get more of that kind of 540 comes out as it dries down. In Prince, you get more of the oud for greatness that starts to come out. Both of them, performance-wise, are great. They both last about all day. I easily get at least 8 hours on Prince. Afnan Supremacy, I get at least 8 hours as well, 8 to 10 hours. So both of them perform really well. Both of them also project pretty well. Price-wise, this is hands down a better buy. Prince you can get cheaper on eBay, certainly than Supremacy. But again, I think it depends kind of what you would rather have. If you're a bigger fan of 540, then you'd want to go with the Supremacy. If you're a bigger fan of Oud for Greatness, I would recommend Prince. Or if you haven't tried either of them, you're not familiar with either DNA, I would recommend, personally, my preference is Prince. I like Oud for Greatness better. I think it's more masculine. I think it comes off cleaner. It's less in your face. I like it. I think it's more versatile. But don't get me wrong, there still is a sweetness to this. From the saffron, it comes out. It just doesn't smell. You get more of that kind of Oud for Greatness vibe instead of the 540 vibe. But Prince to me is, Supremacy is good, but again, it just kind of resembles things we've all smelled before. Again, Game Time, Casino Elixir, Pineapple Aphrodisiac. Prince does its own thing. Having that Initio Oud for Greatness in there makes it a lot more unique and just kind of more interesting to me. Again, it's more masculine. I don't honestly wear, I've never really worn Game Time or Casino Elixir that much because to me it does come off fairly feminine. Supremacy is not as bad because again, you get more of that bergamot vibe than anything else. Pineapple bergamot kind of, vibe from it that's more prominent than the 540. So that's certainly more wearable in my opinion than, for me, than Game Time, Casino Elixir, etc. But I prefer Prince over all of them. It smells really good. But like I said, as it dries down, Prince is going to resemble, Oud for Greatness a lot more than anything else. That pineapple is going to die out in the far dry down. But the same thing happens with not only Intense. You're left more with a kind of 540 vibe. So, again, it really depends on what your preference is. If you're a huge fan of 540, I'd get not only Intense. If you are a fan of Oud for Greatness, I'd get Prince. Like I said, I prefer Prince. I certainly wear Prince a lot more. Both of them perform really well. Both of them project pretty well. So, that's pretty much it. It's whether you want. Both provide this kind of sweet, woody, pineapple-y scent profile. It's just kind of how you want that to come across. Do you want it to be sweeter, slightly more candy-ish, something along the 540 line? Or do you want it to be a cleaner, smoother, more masculine kind of vibe? Then you would go with Prince. Again, you get that kind of sterile-esque oud in Prince that's common in Initio's Oud for Greatness. Anyway, hopefully this helped anybody who is considering the two or who's curious. If you have questions, leave them in the comment section. I will address them. Like I said, they're both good. I wear Prince a lot more, and honestly, Prince comes off a lot more like pineapple than the Supremacy does, but they both have that same vibe. Okay, I think Prince is better all around in my opinion. Not performance projection wise, but just scent profile wise. Otherwise, I think they're all kind of both of them pretty similar as far as performance goes. But again, hopefully this was helpful. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments section.